Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and so today I want to talk about, it's this quality thing mostly, but I'm not the only one in this that's starting to feel deflated, or, I've pretty much given up Games Workshop, and the only time I use their models now is for one-page rules. I don't even buy any more now, actually, coming to think about it. I was going to, but honestly, my Titan Lord's army is pretty big, so I don't need to buy anything for it. I would actually need to play I think it's like a 4,000 point game for one-page rules just to use my Titan Lord army. That's how big it is. Well, it's not big Games Workshop big, it's big one-page rules big. But the same thing comes to mind. And the thing is, the problem I'm finding with Games Workshop right now is everything looks the same. This is the new Guardian kit, okay? And you look at the poses, and you look how everyone is, and then you go to the intercessors. Yeah, because I want intercessors. Jeez, I don't want the heavy ones. The normal ones. Here we go. It's exactly the same posing. All the same. There's some minor details, but you still got the guy with his rifle up, and they're all pointing. Oh, but the models, we're going to get the one that there can only be so many poses for these models. Because, bipedal and all that lot. I don't think that's a good enough excuse anymore. Because this is meant to be a big company, and they are copying pose after pose after pose for all their armies. And it's just got to a point where it's just blasé with what pose they're going to do. When it comes to the special characters, you're going to see pretty much the same pose with all of them. One arm's going to be up, pointing in some way, and they're going to be holding a weapon. In, like in a V shape. We see this so commonly. And there's no excuse for it. Or there's the running pose, the Games Workshop running pose. Everyone runs exactly the same way. The only difference being, it might be different feet. That's forward, Might be slightly mirrored. And Games Workshop does this a lot. And this is why I kind of have been feeling deflated by them. Because I like variety in my games. I like variety in miniatures. I like lots of different looking miniatures in my games. I like to field as many different ones as possible. And when every model, it doesn't matter which army I pick, is going to look pretty much the same, it gets beyond a joke. It does. And when you look at something like this, this is the Northern Alliance Clansmen with two-handed weapons for Kings of War. It looks so much different. Then if you go to, and the reason I'm doing this too, because, they are very different armies. If we go to the Twilight Kin, which should be around, it's back a couple I think. There we go, no, Corsairs Regiment, Twilight Kin. They look completely different. They're both melee based, but you can see the difference in them. They look so different, and I've just said that so many times. And that's what makes one of my things about Mantic, which I enjoy. You have two different armies, and they look like their armies should do. Guardians should look fast, nimble, and quick. That's how their poses should be. Whereas Space Marines shouldn't look like that. They shouldn't look like Guardians. They shouldn't be nimble or quick. They should be stoic and brave. And the models should represent this. And the fact that, Mantic has done this so well with their own kits, making each unit and each faction its own thing with its own aesthetics and its own model poses and everything else, really stands out. And it's just getting to me at this point where I know people are going to defend this. They're going to go, oh, there's so many different poses that a human body can do. Yes, there is. And there's absolutely thousands of them, by the way. And if we look at this is the Blessed Sisters for one-page rules. This is the ones you can buy. I will be reviewing some OPR stuff soon, by the way, because I've got my first stuff. I'm getting my first stuff this week. I've got some stuff coming first, which I need to paint and build. I've got my shopping list sorted. It's just the way my brain works. And you see how there's so many different poses. These are all the same, by the way. Just so you know, these are the same kit. You've got a couple of doubles there. They're single print models, so they're not multi-kit. I'm not a fan of it, but that's the way they do it, But look how different these poses are. And if you go compare them to the actual army I'm getting, yes, dinosaurs with guns. What's not to love dinosaurs with guns? Come on. And again, different poses. Very different. But they could have done. But they copy and they are from the aesthetic of the army itself. These are dinosaurid poses. These are reptilian poses with guns. This is exactly how reptiles would look. The same with how the Eldar should look. Not like this, by the way. And they look different from the Blessed Sisters. And it just makes me laugh that Games Workshop, this bigger company, is doing worse in their models quality when it comes to posing and, variation between different armies, when two lesser companies. And what really made me laugh, like I said, this is one that made me giggle the most. Games Workshop running pose. We've all seen it. We all know what it looks like. And this is Wild West Exodus, the Pride of Nekomata detachment. This is a lovely detachment, especially if you like Thundercats. And you have this running pose here. She's lovely. And she's got snarf to her. Snarf, snarf. And you see how her running pose is so different and she looks so quick. Again, see how these two different models represent exactly what they're like. He is a very heavy hitter, so he's stoic. This woman is quick, so she looks quick. I keep forgetting their names. I do apologise. Because I just sort of, when I play, it's just like, that's when I remember everything. Because I'm stupid. And if we go to almost any other model which is running, I actually got one in planned as well for this, Iron Tooth, which was such a wonderful model to paint and build. I'm so glad I got him. He's so much fun to use. He is one of his models that everyone takes out straight away, but he's so fun. Oh, it's on page 2, is it? And Iron Tooth, and the lore is fantastic as well. And the reason I picked Iron Tooth because he is in the Games Workshop running pose. You know which one I'm talking about? You'll see it straight away. The Games Workshop running pose. Here it is. The running pose of Games Workshop. And it shows you that smaller companies are putting more time and detail into their games and their miniatures to make miniatures look different. That not every model is running the same way. Not every model is doing exactly the same thing or looks the same in the same pose. Anything like that. And this is just something that more Games Workshop should be doing this without question. They should be. Soul Hunters. This is a lovely box as well, by the way. I got this box. I just finished painting it. The Soul Hunters. These are Ghostbusters, in case you're wondering, with even some names from Ghostbusters. And there you go. You've got a third running pose there. And that one is different from Iron Tooth. It doesn't look that different with the legs, but trust me, it is very different. And as you can see, she's running with her gun. She's looking down. The pose is different. And when you have games like this, where every faction represents itself in its models and its posing and all of that, then you've got a good company who's really going out their way to try and make something interesting and not just trying to make money out of it. Whereas Games Workshop, it's all the same. And I'm not going to just bash Games Workshop because they're not the only ones with this problem. So many other games have this issue. Now I'll just bring up a more expensive game than Games Workshop. I know, right? A more expensive game than Games Workshop. I must be having a giraffe. Nope. It is Star Wars Legion, and I have been put off by this game so many times. If I'm going to spend £60, 60 quid on 7 miniatures and some cards, I expect a bit more variation in my poses. I expect a little bit more dynamic. These two are almost identical apart from how the guns are raised. Same with these two, very closely similar. Okay, this one's a little bit different with Lego. But £60 for 7 miniatures and they all pretty much look the same is a joke. And this is not the only one. Look at this Range Troopers. They all look the same. Same sort of... Look, you've got two exactly the same there. And that kit is, what, 40 quid? £50 to have the same miniature twice. Actually, 2, 3... basically you are paying for 4 different miniatures and having 3 repeated. For £50, come on. It's just the problem when these companies know they're going to make lots of money with hype, and there's a big brand attached to it. They cut back so much. Whereas a company which, like I said, let's go back to the start. A much smaller company decides that, you know what, we're going to make our models look good. We're going to make them look different. We're going to make sure that you rarely get the same model twice. And if you do, you're not going to be paying through the nose for it at the same time. So in Starhost, let's go to this one anyway. So let's go to a normal box. That's the point for this bit, by the way. And let's go to a normal box. We've got Starhost Chameleons. These just look so freaking cool. I can't wait to paint these guys up. I really can't. But as you can see, no 2 models alike in that 5-man unit. A smaller company charging a quarter of the price, but they put more time and detail into it than Star Wars Legion does, than Warhammer 40k does. It's just not funny anymore. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video here. I think I rambled enough. I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you have a good day. Don't forget to visit Wayland Games if you want to buy some WWX or Wild West Exodus stuff, because they have some really cool stuff like the Pride of Nakamata and the Soul Hunters, which were fun to build. And there's a talking gorilla for Soul Hunters if you want to add him to your detachment. And I don't, that's the kind of thing. Just to point out, 6 different models for the Pride Hunters is £40. That's 6 entirely different models for £40. It's far better than 4 different models and 3 repeated for £60. It's not even funny anymore. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, go to Wayland Games if you wish to purchase some Wild West Exodus stuff. It's a really good, fun game, and everyone should be getting to play with. But you can also save money on other fit systems if you wish, such as Warhammer and Star Wars Legion and Kings of War. You 20% off anything that's not War Cradle, or up to 20% off anything that's not War Cradle, and free delivery after £20. And the reason I've used Wayland Games for this is because I do actually use them a lot, so it's just the easiest shop for me to go to, because I know the site pretty well. Okay, and then there is Forbidden Planet for your comics, DVDs, mangas, all that really cool stuff that everyone loves. Merchandise-wise, there's my merchandise, t-shirts, notebooks, stickers, cups, travel mugs, my comic as well, which is pretty dark, and Skyforge. Give that guy a click, give him some love, let's help him with his algorithm. And finally, Patreon, because business. Bye bye.